The situation which was there 15 days or 1 month prior is very dynamic and is changing. I just want to make everybody feel assured that any steps which we take at CBSE would be keeping the interest of the students and the schools in mind. So we would not take a step which would unnecessarily, let us say, create stress or pressure on either the schooling system or the students who are there. The situation, as you've seen, is evolving and dynamic, and we'll be responding accordingly in an appropriate manner as the situation unfolds. We have scenarios as to what could happen, the worst case scenario. If that happens, what do we do? And we are working for that. So we have time. We are putting our plans into action, keeping in mind it's very difficult to predict the future, but however, we have the best, the middle case and the worst scenarios, and we would be prepared for that. Existential issues, some of which were pointed out. You did mention that students who are coming for practicals are, if they are COVID positive. As of now, we definitely, I think there is a circular which says that they can take the exam. You can just contact the RO, mark them absent, and as and when you find a date, we could do that. The exam could be conducted. That should not be an issue. Similarly, when we conduct the offline exams, we will do our best to make the conditions conducive, depending on what situations exist. There too, if a student does have COVID, we will definitely give him another opportunity so that he can, subsequent to the exams, take tests, and he or she does not have to suffer because of being COVID positive during the examinations. We need to it's very difficult, as I said, to be predictive in this situation and say this is definitely what is going to happen. And that will be unfair also because none of us knows what the future is. We know that the trend is changing, COVID cases are rising, we are keeping a watch, and our decision making would be conditioned to that. As the situation is evolving, and what is our best prediction in the coming 1 or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and act much in advance so that people know, schools know, teachers know, students know what is going to happen. And the bottom line is we are not going to do anything which is unfair or you feel will create stress on the students or stress on the system. And we would do it in a collective manner. We have our channels open. That is why we have requested all, since the situation is very different in different states, that the teachers should immediately get in touch with us. You are in a way also our eyes and ears in the field to point out to us what are the problems you are facing in the field and what problems you anticipate. It's very important that there is a constant flow of information from all of you, which comes to us. We are able to assess it and then act on it. And we'll act when we take decisions, definitely like we've always been doing, we'll discuss with you. Secondly, it's also very important that you are in constant touch with parents and teachers and provide them guidance as to how to go ahead. Some people, due to the situation, some people get into a panic mode or they act in a manner that this is going to happen, that is going to happen. It's very legitimate that people will have apprehensions. The situation is of a kind where it is having apprehensions is expected, and anybody would. But it should not be of a kind which is, let's say, due to rumors or undue apprehension, which is not going to help anybody. So it's very important that we keep our channels of communication open with parents and students and tell them. I can assure you that we would be responding very proactively, much ahead of time when we are taking decisions, and which we'll do on a weekly basis. Hopefully, the situation as it is now, it's increasing. It may see a downtrend and conditions may come back to normal. It may remain the same. What do we do then? We'll be announcing these decisions in the coming week. But we kept it as a red flag. We are also aware. We are also monitoring the situation. And as I said, collectively, we will face this situation. And why I am optimistic and confident is that we've got 1 year of experience through hindsight. We've conducted exams. We did a compartment exam. NTA did examinations for NEET and other examinations they've been able to conduct when, let's say, the number of cases per day was much, much higher. So we have expertise with that. Second, the way we've come together and responded to the sudden pandemic. I mean, everybody rose beyond his call of duty, came together, collaborated together. Collectively, we will ensure that, the students who have a full academic age, we don't have too many, impairments or too many, let's say, adverse impacts on students' future, on their academic achievements, which they were supposed to have this year, in any schooling year which they are supposed to have. So I think broadly, if you ask me, that is how we are acting and planning and intend to do. And it's very important for us to keep in mind that it's very difficult to be exactly correct about the future. However, I'll repeat, we have the scenarios in our mind, the best case scenario, second best, or the worst case scenarios. What do we do then? We should be prepared for that. And when the situation, as we are reading it, as it unfolds, we'll be announcing our decisions. And like I said, when we do that, a very important input for us is the constant feedback you give from the ground across the country and even abroad. If schools from abroad are here, and there are 1 or 2 countries which are not allowing physical presence of children in schools now, we'll be that also separately. But it's very important for all of you to give us good feedback from the field, because it's on basis of that information that we'll be taking the steps which we have to in the future. The bottom line is, we would the concern for a student's safety, the concern for teacher safety, and also to ensure a conducive environment as and when we conduct the examinations. That's at the bottom of our mind. I just want to give you an assurance on that account that are the priorities we have. These are the vision we have in terms of the coming 2 or 3 months. So I had a very brief message. I would also like to kind of, maybe I'll be here 2-3 minutes and then I'll take leave. Then my colleague, Dr. Bhardwaj, would be here and continue through the seminar.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for being here. And one message for the students, if you have.
Well, for the students, I think it's very important for them not to be carried away by, let's say, either rumors or other, thinking about what the future is going to be. They should focus on their studies in a safe environment, and they can expect that the CBSE is there, and our main interest is the students' well-being and their health and safety, which will be foremost in our mind. I want to reassure students about that, and they should not bother unduly about other things and just focus on their studies. And similarly, the parents too, they should also just try and create a conducive environment for their children so that they can study.
Right, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for being here. And really grateful that you could spare a few minutes for us and give us this message. It was really very important.